Since the most recent updates of Call of Duty Black Ops 6, they've added Nuketown, they've added another small map playlist, and I think everyone is starting to see just how strong the skill-based matchmaking is in the game. And a lot of people are saying it's actually the worst thing in the game. And you can see by my eye here, I've got a black eye. It's because I've been fighting for my life in these skill-based matchmaking lobbies. It's getting a little ridiculous at this point. But in today's video, I want to talk about how people are beating skill-based matchmaking. No, you didn't hear me wrong. Getting into lobbies that are way easier, how they're doing it, what does it mean for Call of Duty as a whole, and is it actually really horrible for the game? If you have no idea what I'm talking about, this is definitely a video that you want to watch. But before that, if you are getting sick of skill-based matchmaking, this video sponsor may be exactly for you. Today's video is sponsored by Techland, the creators of Dying Light 2, and they've got a new Halloween mode called Tower Raid, which is a co-op focused activity inspired by the VNC Tower mission during the Dying Light 2 campaign. The goal is simple: complete bounties, collect candies, and get yourself new perks and rewards. This new perk system has roguelike elements, so basically the more runs that you do, the stronger you get. They also introduce a new character system where each character has its own loadouts and own traits. And this event is essentially going on for 3 weeks from October 30th to November 20th. And during this time, there's going to be Halloween-themed items as well as Halloween-themed enemies. And essentially, there's no better time to get your hands on Dying Light 2 because as of right now, it is 60% off. All you gotta do is click the link down in the description, but this sale is only for a limited amount of time, so get it while it's hot. Dying Light 2 is a great game and it only gets better with Tower Raid, so check it out, and thank you Techland for sponsoring the video. The gameplay that you are seeing here is from a game that I got today on stream. One of my viewers challenged me to get 100 kills in game, and if they did, they would give me some subs over on Twitch. And it took me several games, but I wanted to show this game because I get 108 kills in this game, but I struggle for my life. I end up with around a 3 kill death ratio, which is honestly pretty good, but it took me several games to do this because some games I'd get put up against really good teams and other times they were just kind of average. This was one of those games that was exactly that, just kind of average. But watching the gameplay, you can very clearly see that the enemies are moving around, they're sliding, they're shooting, and they have skill, throwing grenades, throwing stuns, and trying their best to play the objective. And in fact, this ended up being an extremely close game and a long game at that, hence why I was able to get 100 kills. I wasn't just getting 25 kill streaks every single time that I was alive on the map. Now, a lot of the YouTubers you may be watching are probably getting a lot of those games. The games where every single life is nearly a 25 kill streak or a 30 kill streak or multiple nuclears in a game. And don't get me wrong, there are definitely players out there who can do that in the best of the best lobbies, but certainly not every single game. And don't even get me started about Warzone, because on top of all of that, there's Warzone players out there who are doing this as well. Now, if you don't know what this is, let me show you a little bit of different gameplay. Now, the gameplay that you are watching here is from someone by the name of Nero Cinemas. He's someone that I've watched in Call of Duty for a very long time, gives very in-depth critiques, and most of the time dumps all over skill-based matchmaking. He did a little thing called two-boxing. This is essentially where you make two accounts. One is your main account, like the one that I was playing on, and the second one is a brand new account that you give horrible stats by going in game, dying a whole bunch, and then what you do is you take that second account with the horrible stats and you join a game. You then go on your main account, and once that bad account is in a game, not searching for a game, but in a game, you go ahead and join that person, and all of a sudden, that entire lobby has the same stats as that horrible person. Because remember how skill-based matchmaking works. It puts you in a lobby with similar level players or similar skilled players as the person joining the game. Now, it doesn't work if you join before they are in a game, because then it tries to balance the team with your stats as well. And this is how Activision has tried to fix this two-boxing problem in the past. Now, this is only going to become a bigger problem, and the reason why I'm making this video now is because I've seen a ton of people making videos on it. And because of that, more and more people are going to start to do it, and believe it or not, this is a way bigger problem than you may think. If you're watching this gameplay, you may be noticing that the enemy players are barely moving, barely shooting, not even using Omni movement whatsoever. That is because these players have just got off a 12-hour shift or maybe have some sort of disability and just really can't do well at the game whatsoever. They're in a protected bracket, and you, as like a 2 or 3 kill death player, are joining that, And yes, it is like playing bots on Recruit. You can still die. They can get a lucky nade or peek you before you peek them or things along those lines. But for the most part, you are going to win every single gunfight because, again, they're bots. Now, I'm betting a lot of you are looking at this thinking, okay, I need to go do this immediately because I want lobbies that look like that. Well, if you want to experiment without spending an exorbitant amount of money on another copy of the game, why don't you just go into private match and play against bots? Because playing against these type of people is just as rewarding as playing against bots. Yes, you can unlock camos faster. Yes, you can complete challenges you probably couldn't otherwise, but it's boring. It's a very, very boring way of playing the game. And on top of all of that, you are ruining the experience for the people that you are playing against. And I get it. If you're like me, you're sick of sweating in every single lobby, being at a huge disadvantage if you just want to use a sniper rifle. Getting triple kills with the sniper rifles is like pulling teeth. I understand your issues. And don't get me wrong, skill-based matchmaking sucks. Let's go back to my gameplay, the normal gameplay, the one where there's not people without thumbs playing. I want to be clear, today this was the worst players that I played against, the game that you're watching here. And if you can't tell the difference between the gameplay that you watched before, look at the enemy's movement and look at how many nades they are actually throwing and how they are using them. There is a very, very large difference. When we are looking at this gameplay, yeah, it seems sweaty. Yeah, you're not going on as many kill streaks. And hey, at some points, you're probably not even having fun. I was having packet burst this entire game, and that's incredibly frustrating too. But at least I am playing players who shoot back at me. The problem with skill-based matchmaking comes in though, where every single game that I play is against people of similar skill levels, and therefore every single game that I play feels exactly the same. There is no variance where I can get into games where, yeah, some of those people might not be the best and they'll have very bad games because there is no real randomization in who I am playing against. And that is the main problem I have with skill-based matchmaking. By you yourself going into one of those lobbies with the people with literally 0.1 to 0.5 kill death ratios, you are playing against them and you are ruining their experience. You are ruining the game for them, and it is quite possible that they may never play the game again because you stomp on them so hard. Very rarely with skill-based matchmaking do I get in a game where I go 5-40. I'm probably just going to leave the game if that happens. But just like that, if that was to happen to these people, they're going to feel the exact same way that you are in that situation. And these people are in this type of bracket for a reason. They suck at the game. It's plain and simple. So I don't think circumventing skill-based matchmaking by doing this kind of thing is in the right whatsoever. Now, if there is a way to simply remove skill-based matchmaking so you played against completely random players and sometimes they were really good and sometimes really bad, and if that worked by two-boxing, I would say, yeah, that's a much better system. And in fact, what I have seen from my experience is playing with other players actually helps with this. Playing solo in Black Ops 6 feels like you're going through a meat grinder because every single person in your lobby has as similar as stats as possible to you, which means they play like you, they move like you, they shoot like you, and you playing essentially against you. Whereas if you play with teammates, you're going to get a teammate on the other team that is like you, and then one that's like one of your friends, and then one that's like another one of your friends, and it makes a little bit of variance in every single lobby that you play. This is going to become a bigger and bigger problem. As more and more people talk about it, more and more people are going to do it, and that protected bracket within Black Ops 6 and Call of Duty and even Warzone is not going to be a protected bracket for much longer. But here's the thing. I am only talking about this now. People have been doing this for years, I believe since Modern Warfare 2019. And as I mentioned, this also works in Warzone. Now, I'm going to need you to use your brains a little bit for this, because I'm not saying that every good gameplay that you see on YouTube or you see on Twitch is someone two-boxing. And in fact, I don't really have too much of a problem with people doing this, other than it does ruin some people's days. What I have a problem with is when people lie about it or don't disclose that they're doing this, because then you go watch their video and you're like, hey, I can play like that too. You get in game and that is not your experience whatsoever. Then some people use it to get in tournaments and other things, and it's just not an okay situation whatsoever. Simply don't lie, don't make up things, and I can tell you a couple ways that you can see whether or not the people you are watching are doing this kind of thing. When you are watching their multiplayer games, look at the levels of players that they're playing against. If they are Prestige 10 and they're playing against Prestige 1s, how does that make any sense whatsoever? On top of that, Warzone, it's even more simple. If you see someone playing solo in duos or trios or quads, they obviously joined off of that extra account, hence why they're not playing in solos. If you were playing a fair game, it would be much easier to get good games playing solo. On top of that, there are some players that do play in duos and trios and quads and things like that because they are very, very good. But most of the time they'll be streaming and you'll see them actually join the game. If you're watching a streamer and they block out their screen as they're joining a game, they're probably saying that they're trying to stop stream snipers, when in reality, they are joining up on their bot account so that they can have easier games and look better for you. You will watch them longer, but meanwhile, like I said, they're playing against people with absolutely no thumbs. Now, I would love to think tremendously positively that if we all did this, Activision would see it and they would have to reverse skill-based matchmaking because there would be no longer players who are protected. But let's be honest, that is not what's going to happen. They're going to find a way to block this. I don't know what that is. There's people working there that are much smarter than me, and this won't be a thing anymore. At least I don't think it will be. I don't personally see a way that they can block this, but as a whole, we have to just accept the fact, honestly, skill-based matchmaking isn't going anywhere. And quite honestly, I'm actually okay with this. This is where I kind of have an unpopular opinion. Let's be honest, I don't want skill-based matchmaking the way that it currently is within Black Ops 6 or within Warzone. I do, however, want a level of skill-based matchmaking where I don't play against those bots in games, but rather I play against a wider variety of players. If, say for example, right now I play with players between 2 and 4 kill death ratio, maybe I play against people with 0.7 to 8 kill death ratios. There's a much wider variety of people, and yes, some games I might get up against bots and other games I might get up against players who absolutely destroy me, but as a whole, it should even out. That is what I would like to see in the game. There still should be a protected bracket because those people need it. But as a whole, a lot of the people that you're watching online currently are doing this. A lot of them. I would say if you're watching amazing gameplays, probably over half of them, which is kind of strange to say. Personally, I have never done this. I don't plan on doing it. And when people do it, I would very highly recommend they at least disclose that they are doing so. Otherwise, I almost see it as false advertising, that they're way better of a player than they actually are. And I honestly could look at YouTube right now, look over at my feed, and probably name 15 people that do it in every single video. I'm not going to do that as of now because I'd like to give them a chance to actually be honest about it. But hey, let me know what you think about this issue down in the comments. I know this skill-based matchmaking video probably didn't go in the way that you expected, but hey, like I said, let me know what you think in the comments. If you enjoyed it, hit that like button, subscribe, turn notifications on. We've got more story content for Black Ops 6 coming very, very soon. Stay tuned. Thanks for watching, and until next time, peace.
We are reaching for the stars.